Speaker, my question this morning is to the Premier. Big gas companies are ripping us off, paying less tax than the average Queenslander. Will this government do what Albanese's has failed to do and tax big gas properly by raising royalties?
Mr Speaker, just to a point of order, I'd say that there is an imputation or inference contained within that question, and I ask you to consider that and either rephrasing it or ruling the question out of order.
Just get a bit of advice on that. Just have a look at it. Member, could you just repeat that question for me, please?
More than happy to. And Speaker, I'd welcome any clarification the Leader of the House can give as to what the imputation is.
Just repeat the question for me.
To the Premier, big gas companies are ripping us off, paying less tax than the average Queenslander. Will this government do what Albanese's has failed to do and tax big gas properly by raising royalties?
Yeah. Member, it's that first sentence that you might have to rephrase for me, please.
If you're happy for me to rephrase, I'll go right ahead, Mr Speaker.
That's right. Your chance, Maiwar.
Thank you, Speaker. Queenslanders are being sold short by big gas companies in Queensland who pay less tax than the average Queenslander. Will this government do what Albanese's has failed to do and tax big gas properly by raising royalties?
Premier, I will allow the question. Obviously, there is no other way to authenticate it, so you've got a bit of latitude in how you answer.
Oh, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, am I the only one who sees the irony in the member for Maiwar, who has fought all his life against the gas industry, asking a question about revenue from the gas industry? It's like a vegan saying that the steak was overcooked. That's what it's like. I say to the honourable member, right now, there's only one state doing heavy lifting on gas. Only one state. And it's not New South Wales, because for decades, they've refused to do the hard yards. It's not Victoria, because that is an administration so far gone that there's not even a hint of economic security and sovereignty. It's this state. It's this state. And there's only one thing I will agree with the member, and that's the following. This state needs to get its fair share. This state. Because it's this state that's taken the hard decisions. It's this state that implemented a gas field commission when we needed one, to get people to believe in the industry, to get communities like Dalby and Chinchilla to make sure that they could get some benefit. It was this state. And do you know what happened on the back of it? Those communities came on the journey and they saw an opportunity for their kids. And it was this state that was prepared to back people who put high vis on and go to work. People who the member doesn't support, people who the member doesn't represent, but there's a lot of people sitting on this side of the House who do, and there's people on this side of the House who've made a living in it, and we'll back them every day of the week. And I say to the Treasurer in Canberra, I say to the Honourable Prime Minister, when you go overseas and you're doing deals to secure the petrol that we need, the diesel that we need, because this state hasn't been prepared to invest, just remember two things. The first is it's Queensland gas you're horse trading with. Absolutely. It's Queensland gas. And the second thing is the fuel you're begging for, there is a state that's prepared to do the heavy lifting and get it for you. And all we want for those opposite is get out of the way. Get out of the way. Because this state, before the crisis, it was this state that was prepared to explore. Before the crisis, it was this state that was prepared to sign leases to provide long-term storage opportunities. And it's this state that is the only one...
Speaker.
Point of order.
On relevance, the question was to do with whether royalties would be raised to get a fair share from gas companies.
Relevance. I allowed a bit of latitude in allowing the question at all. Premier, you have 30 seconds.
And it's only this state that's prepared to do the planning arrangements that needed to give people the opportunity to bring a refinery back to sovereignty in this country. Because for the last 30 years in this country, we've celebrated knocking them over rather than building them and running them.
Point of order, Speaker.
Point of order, Member for Maiwar.
Still not a word from the Premier about royalties with 13 seconds left on the clock.
Okay. Thank you. Mr Premier.
Mr Speaker,
Leader of the House.
Well, a point of order, Mr Speaker. Again, you've already ruled the Premier is being relevant. There was a lot of latitude allowed to that, and I'd suggest to you the member for Maiwar is starting to be disorderly in relation to that.
Yep. Look, I allowed latitude with the question. The Premier has 12 seconds left to round
The
out
royalties
his
come
response.
from Queensland. They deserve to belong in Queensland. And after 2 minutes 50 of attack, I'll say one thing about the member for Maiwar. At least he's got the ticker to ask me a question.
Mr Speaker.